You're watching the sports political channel of LB. If you're not subscribed to this channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and share these videos on your social media platforms. All right, so this particular video, we're going to talk about what happened with Russell Westbrook and the ESPN commentary at the trade deadline. Now, the individuals you see on this panel, the woman off to the far left, Ramona Shelburne, Malika Andrews next to her, that's the host. Brian Windhorst right next to her, and then last but not least, Dave McMenamin, the boyfriend to Malika Andrews. Now, I'm going to play a clip, and after this clip has been played, we're going to break it down on the other side.
Remember when the Russell Westbrook trade was the biggest trade that happened over the last 24 hours? Well, here are the trade details. D'Angelo Russell, Malik Beasley, Jared Vanderbilt, they are headed to Los Angeles as a part of a three-team trade that does send Russell Westbrook, some others you can see on their screen there, to the Jazz. The Timberwolves also involved. Trades, though, they are still going on. That is the thing about the trade deadline. It feels like there is news rolling in every minute. So when it does, you're going to hear this sound. That's what you're going to hear. We're going to turn it off for now, though, and get to a little bit more on Russell Westbrook. And I am joined by the best Lakers and Clippers and LA-based reporters in the business, Dave McMenamin, Brian Windhorst, Ramona Shelburne. Dave, I want to start with you because so many folks were calling for an end to the marriage between the Lakers and Russell Westbrook long before it happened. Why now?
Well, this was the time to do it. Russell Westbrook was not going to be part of the team after this summer when his contract expired. And also when his contract came off the books, the Lakers would have less money to deal with in the free agency period this summer. So you had to do it if you wanted to get those pieces you could have part of the team moving forward. You get younger, you got shooting, you got switchable defenders. And as one source told me, you remove a vampire from the locker room. That meaning a vampire sucks the blood out of the locker room. Russell Westbrook moves on.
A vampire out of the locker room, Ramona.
Yeah, you know, the Lakers were, as I heard yesterday, closer than they had ever been to not playing Russ anymore if they did not find a trade for him. And I think the question now becomes, what is his future? He's not going to be a part of the Utah Jazz. They were expected to do a buyout eventually. And then you start looking at teams that might be interested in Russell Westbrook. Paul George, his former teammate in Oklahoma City, has already started recruiting him if he becomes available to the Clippers. Where this goes in the next 3 or 4 days could be very, very interesting.
It's going to turn into a bat and fly down the hall.
Right. I mean, but when you look at all...
By the way, that was amazing what Dave said. And,
yeah.
I have to say, being at that game the other night, where this incredible LeBron moment, this warm glow, and then you went like around the Lakers team and it turned to ice. So I kind of get it. They had to do it.
And he's in a tough spot. I mean, Russell Westbrook should be credited for all the work he's done for his game in the league, and it's very hard to make that transition once you get to another franchise where the pecking order is very clear that there can only be one guy that operates like LeBron James within the franchise, and Russell Westbrook wasn't accustomed to that. And he deserves credit for coming off the bench for Darvin Ham. The problem was the basketball. It was the basketball. If they were winning, if he was more effective, if he was taking care of not having the turnovers and shooting at a higher percentage, it would have all felt better.
Yeah.
There was no person.
Now, it'd have been one thing to be critical of a player. It's a whole nother thing to disrespect a player. Calling Russell Westbrook a vampire, that was unacceptable by Dave McMenamin, right? See, these LeBron James flunkies, these guys always pick and choose who they're going to demonize when it comes to the aura of LeBron James. That's why you don't have a whole lot of superstar players, in my opinion, that don't want to play with this guy because of the trash that came out the mouth of these media personalities. Now, Dave McMenamin could have and should have left that out. There's no analysis. There was no kind of benefit the Russell Westbrook by sitting up there on that program and calling the man a vampire. That was disgusting. It was. It was totally uncalled for. It was unnecessary, and that's unacceptable. And then you got that Ramona Shelburne running around here with those dang old T-Rex arms. And when she mentioned that, oh, well, Russell Westbrook could go to the Clippers, and she just started shaking her head like she didn't want that to happen. Then you got Brian Windhorst, right? The man who robbed the Hamburglar. He's sitting up there talking about, well, Russell Westbrook could turn to a bat and fly away. Well, Brian Windhorst, if you were to enter a pigsty, I feel bad for Porky because poor Piglet might end up in the goddamn skew later on that night. You sitting up there disrespecting Russell Westbrook. When last time you touched the basketball? Hell, well, let's put it on the lower scale, Brian Windhorst. When last time you touched a treadmill? Do you get allergic when you touch a treadmill? Because see, when you sit up here and disrespect one of us, we're going to disrespect you right back. Because that was uncalled for. That was uncalled for. Hey, is your LDL still higher than your HDL, Brian Windhorst? Because see, you can't do what Russell Westbrook do. You can't do that. Can you even shoot a basketball? Hell, could the basketball even touch the rim? Because I have it on good faith, you have a better chance of touching a donut before you could touch a rim. Now, this disrespect has gotten so bad to the point that Russell Westbrook's wife took the Instagram and called out ESPN for that lack of journalistic integrity. Because people are going to hear that, and I'm pretty sure him and his wife got children, and their kids going to be at school, and other kids is going to prop up that ESPN talking point in their face. So unfortunately, Russell Westbrook's wife gonna have to sit down with her kids or their kids and explain to them that their dad is not a vampire. Because these buffoons on TV running their mouth all recklessly and think there's no consequences behind that. They're not the only people have disrespected Russell Westbrook. That idiot troll Skip Bayless has been notorious for disrespecting Russell Westbrook. They're not above reproach. They sit up here and demonize these athletes to the point that these athletes become undesirable in other markets. You see how they ran Carmelo Anthony out the league? That buffoon Max Kellerman and the stuff he was saying about Carmelo Anthony, amongst others. Nick Wright, another guy, continuously running his mouth about these athletes. These LeBron James flunkies make me sick. They get on my freaking nerves. All you have to do was report the news. You didn't have to put that in there. You always got to do something over the top. You always got to put some sauce on it. What's up, Yugi? Yeah, exactly. I don't know how Westbrook does it either. But then again, I'm pretty sure he wants to do it. There probably some people behind the scenes that's probably telling him to calm down. Because I'm pretty sure he's at 100 listening to all this trash that the media is putting out about him. Look, if you are going to break down his game and how his game translate or does it translate with his teammates, that's one thing, right? Because if you follow my channel, right, I talked about how this trade wasn't going to be a good fit. There was quite a few YouTube channels that talked about how Russell Westbrook's trade from the Wizards to the Lakers was not going to be a good fit. But you know what we didn't do? We didn't sit up here and call this man all kinds of names short of a child of God. We didn't do that. We didn't do that. And that was disgusting. Now, do these ass clowns have any class about them that they're going to come back and apologize for what they said? Right? Because I'm going to talk about Kyrie Irving in a different video in which you have that blowback shape up having Stephen A. Smith running his mouth and literally lied to everybody, talking about it wasn't personal Kyrie Irving when he flat out admitted that it was. It was personal against Kyrie Irving. Because see, these guys who couldn't do it, haven't done it, and never will do it, they'll sit up there and talk trash about these players all day, but as soon as the player claps back at them, then all of a sudden now they got some feelings about them. They're catching the vapors, like Biz Marquis. How dare you talk to me this way? Do you know who I am? I am the great big titty grimace looking Brian Wayhorse. I carried LeBron James backpacks ever since 2003. And after 20 years of jockstrap sniffing and booty hole licking, I have reached the mountaintop of journalism. Yeah, get the fuck out of here. If I'm Kansas Fried Chicken, man, I'm be very worried about running out of food when this dude come around my store. But he's sitting up there disrespecting Russell Westbrook. What did Russell Westbrook do to you? What did Russell Westbrook do to you, Dave McMenamin, for you to be saying that? You totally should have left that out. He's a vampire in the locker room. He sucks the blood out of the locker room. Where'd you get that from? Did you get that from the bathroom attendant? Did you get that from the cleaning lady? Where did you get that from? Because I'm pretty sure if we talk to a player or a former player in the locker room, we're going to get a totally different take about Russell Westbrook. Where was the journalism in that? Calling the man a vampire. Just unacceptable. Where'd you get that from? Ramona Shelburne, you think we forgot about you running your mouth about Kyrie Irving a few months ago? Huh? I mean, if you look, half these people's feet can't even touch the floor when they're sitting on these computer chairs. Their feet can't even touch the floor while sitting on these computer chairs. And they're running them up about these athletes like this. And why is ESPN not reeling these people in and saying, hey, look, we need to keep it strictly about basketball. No personal takes, no digs, no pot shots, nothing. That should be left out. And if you wonder why people don't watch your bullshit ass shows anymore. Because there's no journalism in calling a man a vampire. Where do you get off disrespecting him like that? And then you wonder why when you approach these athletes for an interview, these guys give you the side eye. So yeah, man, that's bullshit. That's bullshit. And you think you deserve respect? You think you deserve credibility? You have none of that. None of you ass clowns that's on the panel have that. I talked about how Malika Andrews was running her mouth about Ime Udoka all last season. Well, earlier this season. When that stuff came out about Ime Udoka, who was the first one on here running her mouth? She was. Ime Udoka was subjected to public excoriation, but the woman who was a willing and able participant in the grown-up undressing sessions, no, she has to be protected. For what? Why she had to be protected? Why her and Jalen Rose? You should have stood in your square. You should have stood in your square. You shouldn't make the statement and then the next day come back and apologize. Why do you think we jumped on your ass about that? Exactly. Of course, you got Allen Iverson, Carmelo Anthony, Stephon Marbury, Russell Westbrook. The media always has something or someone they're going to pick on for no reason. And exactly, they're always picking at these guys for no reason. If I'm want to learn about their games and stuff like that, then I need to talk to a former NBA player, not named Kendrick Perkins, because that scrub turned talking head on TV. He drank the Kool-Aid. He drank their Kool-Aid, the purple Drake style, where he's exposing locker room shenanigans and other stuff, as opposed to, hey, this guy and this guy, I really don't believe they mesh because both guys command the basketball, and with one coming off the bench, he can lead the second unit while still getting his minutes. He can still get his touches, and he can operate the offense and all that. Now, Dave McMillan tried to clean that up in the back end, talk about, well, if he didn't turn the ball over so much. Well, LeBron turned the ball over. You didn't say nothing about that. But you see this raw, unadulterated, oh, it's all about LeBron James, and LeBron James does this and LeBron James does that and all that. Look, however you feel about LeBron James is irrelevant. The fact of the matter is, these guys continue to trash other players surrounding LeBron, and I don't like that. I don't like that shit. I don't like how these other players that sacrifice their game for this man are so trash all of a sudden. So this man was a former league MVP, Russell Westbrook, a former league MVP, and he's trash all of a sudden now because he's playing with LeBron James. Get the fuck out of here. What's up, Choco Taco? And you media members need to watch what y'all say, because what y'all say cost these guys money when it comes up to the current negotiations. Maybe we need to start docking y'all pay for the stuff y'all say. That thing got me hot when I first learned about this. That thing had me super hot when I first learned about this. Russell Westbrook did not deserve this kind of disrespect. If you want to talk about the game, that's one thing. If you want to talk about how his game and LeBron game don't mesh, that's one thing. But don't call the man a damn vampire, man. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. Oh, he ought to be lauded for coming off the bench. Where'd that come from? Where this idea that Russell Westbrook should have came off the bench in the first place? You guys was throwing that out there. It was you guys in the media that was like, oh man, Russell Westbrook, he's a team obliterator, he's a team cancer. Well, he really need to come off the bench. That's why he just cannot be starting on the Los Angeles Lakers, because he's just not good. I mean, this guy was a former league MVP. He just not good. I mean, he just sucks the air out of the building. All that stupid shit. Now, that being said, Russell Westbrook has been in a situation where his decision making has cost the Lakers games. That's not a lie. If you want to say that there's been certain times in the course of the game where Russell Westbrook, while he is a 100 miles an hour consummate professional, goes at it all the time, his basketball acumen or his decision making has cost the Lakers games. That's not a lie. That's a fact. But to call a man a vampire, man, really though, did you really had to go there? You just really had to put that sauce on it. That's all I gotta say about that. Now check out, I'm gonna do another video and we're gonna talk about Stephen A. Smith basically admitting on a podcast that he has something personal against Kyrie Irving. Now, this dude went on national TV and said that, oh, well, there's nothing personal with Kyrie Irving. Well, it turns out that it was. It turned out that it was. And we're going to talk about that in more detail in the future video. Now, if you're not a subscriber to this channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and share these videos on your social media platforms. Chaco, yeah, I'm not dropping a link for this video. Maybe for the Stephen A. Smith one, I'll drop the link there. So be on the lookout for that one, bro. Last but definitely not least, shouts out to the LDBC. This your man. Scream at me. Hurt!